Okay, so in the last part of our course, we got up to sort of coming out of our break, and we had a few issues of just trying to get it to really pump out. One of the things after sort of having a look through the set and playing it out, the big thing that I noticed was that we'd raised the kick drum back up to like plus 6 dB. What we need to do is just bring that down to 0, because that's where it's sitting for the rest of the tune. So we can see there if we hover over, it's even sitting at -2, so we can even bring it down a bit further. And again, we'll go in at the end and sort of mix things properly, but initially just having that kick so loud just means that everything else was dropping away. So I'll let you listen to it with it up full, and I'll let you listen to it back down. So the kick's just totally taking over, and it just doesn't sound right at all. So we'll bring it back down to our level. And again, it's still not really kicking off, and one of the reasons is that it's building up to the crescendo, and we're not sort of taking it away and building it up and coming out of it. So what we're going to do is add a few bars in between our sort of breakdown and their sort of build up, and what that'll do is help us to sort of take the everything building up away for a second and sort of bring it smashing back in. So I'm going to create a new section, and what we're going to do in this section is just have sort of a part of the synth build up. So what we want to do, I'll copy across this kick drum, and we'll go down and we'll copy across sort of the crashes. And then what we're going to do is sort of drop down into our synth and build it back up. And we're going to just use a bit of the start of it and have it looped around. And I'm actually going to extend that out, double the length of it, and we're going to really milk this break, have the sort of kicks and stuff filling up and stuff. So I'll go into my silent, select my filter cutoff, and we'll just drop that right back down and have it sort of building up again. And I'll copy the parts down for the other parts of the main riff. And we'll need to filter them as well. And again, what we'll do is add some effects and sort of build that up. The next thing I want to do is just start adding some sort of kick fills and rolls. And we wanted to start around this mark. And instead of using the current drums we've got, I want to put it into a separate impulse, just because we're going to be doing a lot of automation in it, and I don't want to have to keep going in through the different menus of drum racks and getting things lost. So I'm going to create a new MIDI track. I'm going to call it drum fill. Then I'm going to grab an impulse, because we're only going to use a couple of sounds. I'll just keep it simple and use Impulse as opposed to drum racks. And go into Sonic Snares. Maybe try this and see how it works with the decay down. We'll throw that in initially anyway and see how it works, and then we'll go into our kicks. And what I'm actually going to do is just drag in the kick that we have been using from our drum racks. So what I can do, I'm going to just create a quick audio track, and I'm going to use this to drop over the drum. So there's our drum there, and we can drag it onto an audio track. Oh, it's not letting me do that. So what I'll do is, can I drag it from here? Yeah, there we go. We can sort of see the sample in the browser. And I may actually just go in and go into my samples and go for a standard 909 snare. And then what we're going to do is just create a pattern with sort of 16ths in it. So create a new MIDI track in our new MIDI part, and we'll just draw in some 16ths. And we'll turn this down. And then what we want to do is just drag our drum fill part into the section we want it. Which is going to be from about here. And then we're going to just automate the levels and some filters on these drums just to bring them up over time. So we'll go into our volume for the kick, or for the snare. That's sort of the basic arrangement, and we'll do something similar with our kick drum volume. So we've got our basic structure there, and what we want to do now is just sort of add some filters so that we're taking away the bass going into the main section. So I'll go into my effects, grab an auto filter, and we can just see what it sounds like filtering up. So we'll add that in. Go to our frequency. And we can do the same sort of thing with our main riff. So we'll go in and we'll add a auto filter on that, put it on high pass. We'll show our automation lane. Select our second auto filter and the frequency. If we move it, we can see it's selecting it. And again, we just want to sort of that dip at the end. And I want it crashing back in. And again, we can use our on-off switch to just turn that off at the right point. So we get a nice sort of slam back into it, and it means we're sort of able to build up that break and sort of get a nice bit of frenzy going on without it sort of not crashing in properly. And we can add one of our sweeps in as well. And we'll probably need a sort of bigger sweep overall to come in. And we'll bring this sweep in as well. And what I want to do as well is just add some other effects to this drum fill. And we'll add a phaser onto it. So there we go. So we'll solo the drum track so we can hear it better. Just loop it round one of these sections. So that's what I want there, is that sort of sweep down towards the end. So we'll add that in. Just sort of adds a bit of interest in there. And what we can even do as well is just turn our phaser off, or just turn it on even at that point. And we'll hear how that sounds. And then what I'm going to do is take this phaser and actually copy it on top of our main lead group or main synth group. So hold down Alt and I'll just drag it onto our main riff, and that should drag all the automation as well. And I'll maybe try it on the sweeps as well. So I can just drag it onto that group. And I also want to filter up the sweeps. Actually, I've dragged that onto the wrong one, so I'll drag it onto the spot effects. So there we go, that's our sort of break sound a bit better, it kicks in a lot nicer. And in the next video we're going to carry on with that, and we're going to look at our sort of main synth sound and how we can get it sort of really sounding big coming out of the break.